It doesn't matter. It doesn't have any value until people choose to adopt it and use it. So the next question would be, when people do adopt money and use it, when it does function, what causes failure in money? And people will say, well, it's inflation. Well, maybe. Deflation, if it's in a bad way, can cause monetary failure as well. Underlying fundamentals of the issuing authority can destroy money. So if we think of the United States dollar, it's the full faith and credit of the United States government. You know what it is? It's a big-ass blue water navy with nuclear weapons that backs the U.S. dollar into its insane level of value. It should, and I know it's lost a lot of value, but I mean, it's the most powerful currency in the world. There isn't a nation on the planet that won't accept dollars. They might want to do business in their own currency, but if you say, hey, we want to buy a whole bunch of your shit, here's some dollars, they will take them. Without the military might of the United States government and kind of our perfectly isolated little landmass away from most of the rest of the world with two big-ass oceans separating it, we wouldn't be able to get away with the reckless behavior that we have. So if the U.S. military apparatus collapsed, not saying it's going, I'm just saying if it did, the dollar would fail even if it had been well managed and it wasn't overinflated. You see how that works? Because in the end, what actually kills all money is what actually creates money of value in the first place. The confidence of the people in the economy that use it. No matter what the cause of the failure of confidence, and when that confidence fails, the money begins to fail. So there's a very famous scene in, I think it's the first episode of Star Wars, which is really the fourth episode of Star Wars, where the Jedi are trying to buy the freedom of Anakin's mom, and there's this creature, I don't remember what his name is, but they're like, well, we have Republic credits, and he says, that's not real money. I don't take Republic credits. That's not real money. The government's money is not real money. That's currency failure. That means that the person who's willing to transact says, I don't want that anymore. I want this other form of currency. And that's when that person worries that I can't use this thing to buy the things I need. Or if I don't need to spend it tomorrow, by next week it will be worth half of what it is this week, and therefore I can't afford to have a battery that leaks that bad. In the end, this is always what causes every currency to fail. And governments have multiple things that they try to do to restart a currency that's on the brink of failure. So if you look at the history of the United States dollar, it's a currency with multiple defaults. The formation of the Federal Reserve itself put the power of monetary creations fully into that of the banking system and took it out of control of the government. And it was effectively a default on the existing monetary base. When Franklin Roosevelt took us and moved into a fractional gold standard, basically seized all the gold and then revalued gold against the dollar, that was a default. But it was a default because the whole system was failing. Let's reboot it without going through the pain. At least not the important people are going to go through like if the average Joe goes through the pain, that's just part of life. But we, the elites, we don't want to give up power and control, and we don't want pain. So then later on in the 1960s with the Silver Act, the Silver Coinage Act, when they took the silver out of the change, that was yet another monetary default. And then in 1971, when Nixon closed the gold window and decoupled gold from the dollar, that was another default. So what's the plan when a currency starts to fail and you're not ready for it to fail yet? A default by changing monetary policy. Now the question is, as the dollar heads toward another failure, and it's heading toward one, we can all see it, then what is the next change in monetary policy? You can go back and reconnect it to gold. That would be an option. You could back it with Bitcoin. That would be another. I'm not saying any of these things these are all options that could be done. You could create a commodity basket kind of like an algorithmic stablecoin. You could do that. And if you're controlling all the books, you can get away with it.